Yes. Yes. I know, exciting. Here at the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington, every day and every way we bid you welcome. In this community of radical inclusion, we make space for what you believe, we make who you are, what you love, and who you love. Your whole self is welcome here. It is important that you showed up today. Gathering in community is an act of rebellion against isolation and hopelessness. Knowing this to be true, please repeat after me. We are rebels for hope. Okay, good enough. Good enough, that we are. My name is Jessie Sanchez. I am your service leader today. My pronouns are she, her. Thank you for Thank you for spending your Sunday morning with us, whether you're enjoying the service in person or watching online. I'd like to extend a special welcome to any visitors today. We are so glad that you have joined us. So this past weekend, we enjoyed a great turnout for the crop walk. We raised $5,446. So that's awesome. Hooray. Yay. Thank you for helping your neighbors around the block and around the world. And thank you for supporting the Crop Hunger Walk. Join with fellow UUs and other friends Friday, May 15th for the Butterfly. This event is akin to NPR's offering called The Moth. We have a nice lineup of speakers ready to share their stories that may be funny, heartfelt, or surprising. Doors open at 6:30. The event begins at 7. Tickets are just $10 at the door and includes beer, wine, and light snacks. If you are newer to UU and haven't attended before, you are welcome as our guests. Note this is for adults only. See Barb Iovan with any questions. I don't see Barb in the pews today, but if she comes later, we'll let you know. Your family says that you need more arts and crafts supplies. We can help with that. Come to Adams Hall Saturday, May 23rd for a UUCF art supply exchange sale from 10:30 to 3. This will be a fundraiser for the church, but everything will be sold at a deep discount, so you can go home with lots of new treasures. If you would like to donate supplies you no longer use, bring them to the church that morning to add to the store. Bring a friend and go wild. See the Friday e-blast for more details, or Linda Brown if you have questions. There's Linda Brown. I know I have a ton of yarn that I'm not using, so I'm definitely going to be donating that. Calling all members, Sunday, May 17th is our annual congregational meeting. The meeting will take place next Sunday in the meeting house following service. Please make plans to attend in person because we need to have a quorum for the meeting. Members of the congregation will vote on annual business items of the church, the 2026-2027 leadership slate, and the 2026-2027 budget. See more specific details in the May magnet. If you need to vote by absentee ballot or wish to use a proxy for your vote, please pick one up in the church office or print one from the magnet. Opportunities for connection this week. Monday night, we have our AA meeting and choir. Tuesday is the men's lunch. Wednesday, there's the membership committee meeting. And Friday is the Butterfly. And if you wouldn't mind taking a moment to silence your phones, so that we can just bring all of our attention together here to this point in time. We begin service by lighting the chalice, which is the symbol of the faith that we share, with the words from our mission statement. Please join in reading our mission statement in unison. We seek answers everywhere, include everyone, and live with compassion. Our opening song is number 8, Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, which you can find in the gray hymnal. Please rise in body or spirit. If you are in a row with a rainbow ribbon, please be prepared to share it with your neighbor across the aisle. And here's Argo with the message for all ages.
My name is Reverend Karen, and I have the pleasure of serving at this congregation. My pronouns are she and hers. And this is Argo Kramer, who is our RE coordinator, and they can tell their own pronouns.
My pronouns are they, them, or he, him.
And so today we are having a wonderful ritual. I'm so excited. Today we pause to celebrate the young lives in our midst. I want to make sure you all can hear me. Okay, all right. To remind us of the passage of time and the flourishing of life. We in this community are privileged to share with one another the significant transitions of our lives, which is one of the reasons why we light our candles, we have our memorial services, weddings, we honor and recognize milestones, and one of those is the introduction of children into our community. As we welcome children to this friendly place, we join in an age-old tradition in which parents have brought their children to houses of religion to seek the blessings of life and dedicate them into the community. At this time, we reflect once again upon the mystery of life that we see in the spectacle of birth and growth from the time our children arrive and many of children that we have seen grow through this whole community. Unitarian Universalism affirms that every person comes into the world fresh and unsullied, possessing inherent worth and dignity as their birthright. We acknowledge that our children are human beings with their own spiritual needs and curiosities, not merely blank slates to fill with adult concerns. They are their own people. Every one of our children is a participant in this community, a partner in work and play of our lives, and a companion on our journey for meaning and purpose. We learn from them as much as they learn from us. We rejoice with all parents in our congregation in the gift of their children, a mysterious miracle that is entrusted to their loving care. We are glad that today, moved by a sense of the blessings and responsibilities of parenthood, Heather and Andrew Astorino have chosen to express their values openly and reaffirm their commitment through this celebration. The rite of dedication is performed in the presence of friends and extended family who are not here, but they are here in heart. They declare to all of us that we are all responsible for the well-being, nurture, and teaching of our children. We do not profess to dedicate our children to this community as much as we dedicate this community to our children. We all have a stake in loving and supporting our children and youth, and for them, we wish all the best. I now invite Heather and Andrew to come forward with your children. Come on up. Joe, is this mic on? Okay. Heather and Andrew, who do you bring to this gathered community? And say their full names.
All right. We bring Ian John Astorino and Simon Robert Astorino.
Thank you. Are you ready to dedicate Ian and Simon to this world and to this community?
We are.
Okay. Friends and family, we have been brought together for a joyous occasion to recognize and welcome Simon and Ian into this world and circle of love. Every day that a child is born is truly a miracle, which means every day, right? Children are born into the world every day. It is an opportunity to recognize the power of love, a day to give thanks for the beauty of the earth, a day to recognize that no one is brought up alone and that every person born is a savior to the world. We all bring gifts. Welcome to this circle of love as we work to dedicate ourselves and each other to the care and tending of Ian and Simon Astorino. We recognize all we have gathered here now and those who are away from us in distance and time. We honor the ancestors, those who came before you, who you are probably thinking of when you look at your own children. We begin with the poem from the poet Hafiz. What is the root of all these words? One thing, love. But a love so deep and sweet, it needed to express itself with scents, sounds, colors that never existed before. Will you, Heather and Andrew, promise to care for Simon and Ian? Love them with all your heart and soul. Will you raise them to love justice and live with compassion? Will you extend to them kindness and courage? And will you encourage them to live their dreams? If so, say, we will.
We will.
And children who are scattered about, will you promise to love Ian and Simon as they grow up and one day enter the classrooms that you might be helping teach or be in? To play with them on the playground, will you grow up with them and be a friend and teach them all the wonders of life? If so, say yes.
I invite the members and friends of the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington to respond to these questions after I finish them. Will you promise to care for Ian and Simon? Will you help raise them to love justice and live with compassion? Will you extend to them kindness and courage? And will you encourage them to live their dreams? If so, please say, we will.
We will.
Let us bless Ian and Simon with the wonders of the earth. This is water. May you always find your thirst quenched. May you know the joy of hard work. May your tears be cared for. May you dance in the rain and jump in pools and puddles. Simon, Ian, you are water. Have your hand. Have your hand. Okay, I'll do it from a distance. This is air. May your lungs be full of fresh, sweet air. May you know the joy of a good laugh. May you find your voice through song, whispers, and shrieks. May you have a life full of scents, breezes, and sighs. Simon, Ian, you are air. And this, back here, is fire. We won't get that one too close. May it remind you of the divine spark of all creation that is in you. May it inspire your commitment for love and justice. May you be kept warm by the community around you. May all your days be bright. Simon, Ian, you are fire. This is a flower made from the earth. May you know beauty. May you know the earth provides all you need. May everywhere you go be blessed by your presence. May all your work be a blessing to the world. May all you do bring joy to the world. Simon and Ian, you are the earth.
Friends, it is with great joy that I present to you another gift to this world. Blessings to all of us and a joy to all who may meet Simon and Ian Astorino. Please join me in this blessing in your heart. Beloved children, may you know great love. May you feel deep joy. May you understand the work of justice and the light of truth. As you grow into this world, this community will always be a part of you, and you will always have a home with us. Blessed be, and amen. You are sitting in a row with one of our rainbow arch ribbons. Please reach across to your neighbor. And if you want to go ahead and lift those up, and then we can move into singing as you go. As you go, may joy surround you.
Through the sharing of joys and sorrows, we make space every Sunday for authentic and vulnerable sharing, which helps to build this congregation into beloved community. You are invited to share what's going on in your life, to name your feelings and the people in your heart in need of prayer, good energy, best wishes, and other help. You are welcome to pick up a stone or stones from the table, infuse or charge it with your joy or sorrow, and place it in the singing bowl, where its energy will ripple out to be held by all of us. If you'd like to verbally share something important on your heart, please come up and speak directly into the microphone. All are welcome to participate in any of these ways. For the intentions that rest in the silent sanctuary of our hearts, one for the joys, one for the sorrows, and one for the strength of the gathered community that can support you and bring you peace.
For our meditation moment, I ask you to consider everything that you're carrying today, things said and unsaid in your heart, maybe something you're carrying close. Perhaps it is too tender to say out loud, even to a friend. This is a space where we hold it all close. If you could notice how you're holding yourself, if you want to put your feet on the floor, if that might help you, or notice where you're holding tension, maybe on your shoulders, or your chest, or your stomach. Sometimes we're holding tension without even being aware of it. And breathe into that space in your body and try to let go of that tension, knowing that here, we in this community can help you hold it all together. So this is Mother's Day, and for some people that is wonderful and amazing, and for other people that is painful and sad, for many, many different reasons. And so for that, I'm going to read you this meditation by Lisa Bovee Kemper, and I hope that you can hear these words and feel them and know that Mother's Day and all of our parent holidays hold a wide variety of feelings and complications, and we are here for it all because we are humans in community together. She writes, "In this religious community, we share our joys and our triumphs, our sorrows and our broken places. In this circle of care, we make space for the complexity of life, the myriad experiences that bless and break our hearts. The truth of human experience dictates that on any given day, we each come to the table with hearts in different places. It is especially so on this day, invented to honor women who nurture. In this circle of care, we honor the truth that mothering is not and never will be quantified in one single descriptor. Mothering can be elusive or infuriating, fulfilling or confusing, commonplace or triumphant. It exists in the everyday experience of each person. There is no human being that is not connected to or disconnected from a mother. And so we honor the complexity of experience, writ large and flowered platitudes, but here in this space, laid bare, honoring the truth in each of our hearts. There is room for all in this circle. If you have carried a child or children, whether or not they came to be born, we see you. If you have fervently wished to do so, and circumstances of fate made it impossible, we see you. If you love children we cannot see, whether because of death or estrangement, we see you. If you never wanted to be a mother, we see you. If you are happy to mother other people's children, regardless of your own personal gender, as an educator, an auntie, or a foster parent, we see you. If your mother hurt you, physically or emotionally, we see you. If you had no mother at all, we see you. If your mother is or was your best friend, we see you. If your gender says you are not a mother, and yet you take on the role of nurturer, we see you. If you wonder whether your mothering has been enough, we see you. And if yours is a different truth altogether, we honor your unspoken story. There is room for all in this circle. May it be so today and always. Let's take another deep breath inside. Feel all of those words. Let's take another moment of silence here in this space together, honoring all the ways that we experience mothering, our mothering, out into the world, and bless each other. Amen. Our meditation song today is number 391 in the gray hymnal. You will sing it from your seats. We'll sing it one time through.
Inside, oh, I hear you call.
The offering we take each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. It is as much a ritual as singing together, lighting our chalice, or reciting our unison affirmation. It is a reminder that the form of love we call, it is a reminder of that form of love we call generosity. It is how we show that we believe it is important to worship together, to help our community, and to say yes to the values of our faith. You are now invited to participate in the blessing of giving as the ushers come among you to accept the gifts of the congregation. You may also give to UUCF online via the QR code on the back of the order of service. The morning offering will now be gratefully received. Please join me in reciting the offertory blessing that can be found in your order of service and on the wall behind me. To the work of creating beloved community within and beyond these walls, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings.
It is Mother's Day. Not a day I would normally even do a service about because, like many of us, I have very conflicted feelings about these birth parent days. And because I, like many of you, I'm guessing, also might have had traumatic childhoods. And so I don't normally talk about this day that feels kind of like, why are we doing this again? And do I have an obligation? And it's a very strange kind of day. But I also believe that we need to always be trying to push ourselves to grow and change in some ways. So I was thinking on last fall, we did a service, and one of the things that we did was this little activity. I don't remember if you might know, for visitors, you might know that we did this service where we put together these cards that green was for, is this an activity you really like doing? No problem. Is this an activity that you could do, but you'd rather not? And this one is a little further out, and the red one is the one you absolutely don't ever want to do. Don't ever ask me to do this. That's the Mother's Day service for me. But I still think that's why I kept that right there, because I think it's important to find ways to push yourself beyond the story you tell yourself about you will or won't do. Because I think we create most of the obstacles in our lives through our own thinking. And sometimes that thinking is true. It's absolutely like I can or cannot do certain things. Sometimes it's true. But sometimes it's a story we have created, and that story can stop us from further growth. And I was especially thinking on it because every Sunday since last fall, you might notice that I don't even know exactly when, that we started putting these chalice extinguishing words in the end of our service. And we didn't have a conversation about it. There wasn't like some big, what are we going to do with these words? But one Sunday, Argo and I, we were creating the multi-gen service, and we were, going through the slides, what are we going to put here and there? And then Argo told me that at the end of the children's chapel every Sunday, they say these words. We extinguish this chalice with an open heart. We are building a better world together. We are becoming better people together. We are living our lives together. We don't have to do it alone. So I thought those are such awesome words. Let's put them in the chalice extinguishing words, and we have been using them almost every Sunday since then without actually talking about why do we use these words. But I think on these words quite frequently because I think it's important to be thinking, especially the line, we are becoming better people together. And there aren't a lot of conscious, these are the ways we are becoming better people together, because one of the 4 statements from our 7 principles that is part of our history and in our value statements all talk about our own personal search for truth and meaning, or different covenanted ways that we are going to grow. That's kind of in there, it's kind of the subtext. But we don't really usually come at it directly. How are you becoming a better person? What is the tool that you're doing? Can you talk to other people? Are we having conversations? Or what method are you using for you to personally grow? Even though I would hazard to guess 99.99% of you are in some way every day trying to be a better person through patience, or maybe you're trying to improve the way you talk to somebody, or there's many different ways that we try to do that. So I thought I would share with you one tool that I've been using this past year. So there is an organization called Leading with Depth. And so last year, I decided I'm going to do this full year program that is very much focused around the teachings of Dr. Murray Bowen. And he was a psychiatrist, and he came up with this method. Now, I listen to, if you're a podcaster person, and if you're somebody who learns by listening, I highly recommend there's a podcast called Elevator Systems that breaks down a lot of the Bowen systems theory. But I was listening to one of the episodes this morning, and how Dr. Bowen even said that we all learn from others. What he did was assemble it into kind of a system. So it's sometimes we get caught up in this person came up with this. We all learn from somebody before us. So this is one of his gift to the world was Bowen Family Systems, because a lot of times in therapy, or families will say, this person, this one, they are acting out, and you, therapist, fix this person. And the therapist, if they're operating now, are like, wait a minute, the whole family needs some work. All of you, there are some issues going on, there's some patterns happening, things are being reinforced by the whole system. And when you say what we call the identified patient, this one person is acting out, they're the alcoholic, they're the this, and this. Yes, and the whole system is supporting them in doing this, and they also have a potential loss when things change. So I decided last year, I decided last year to really investigate and spend more time on training this. I had learned about this, about Murray Bowen and Bowen Family Systems many, many years ago, but decided to commit to a year-long program on it with this organization, Leading with Depth. And so we meet once a month, and we get focused on a topic. And then we break down into cohorts and present kind of a case study. This is what's happening. This is getting feedback on what's happening with that. But we started off the year with everybody presenting their, what they call a family diagram or a genogram to each other. Now, this is going to be really embarrassing to admit, because obviously I used my professional expenses, which I appreciate as part of the salary of being a minister here. You get a certain amount of professional expenses. I used that money, I used my time to commit to doing this work. And then when I met with my mentor the first time, because that's part of the program, you meet with a mentor once a month. I met with him the first time and he's asking me, well, where is this sibling or that sibling, or where was this situation? And I'm like, what? I was somehow in my head, I had it was theoretical. It's like learning about the concept of trees without actually going and meeting one. And it's like learning about the ocean without actually going snorkeling. I was like, oh, that's a lovely idea over there. That's great. But then meeting with Jake and he's asking, so where does your brother live? And I'm like, what? I was totally floored that what, and it just, for some crazy reason, this is, again, embarrassing to admit, I was not ready to talk about my own family. And Jake is a very trusted person, and there was no danger in this situation. But I don't talk about my family very much because there's so much trauma over so many years that it's just not something I dwell on or think about. I think about it theoretical, like it's out there. Other people have these families. And so, but then once in spending time with Jake, and with the rest of the group, because I will admit, there were a couple of months I was ready to throw in the towel. Because like, oh no. And because I felt like there was a certain amount of underlying kind of pressure to go talk to that person or go reestablish something with this person. And I think sometimes as adults, depending on where you are, your age, some of us make different decisions about who can I interact with safely and where is there still danger, where is there still woundedness, and can I as an adult now interact with this person knowing that I'm actually not in danger? I was as a child, but am I now as an adult? So it takes a while to kind of work through that. So, but the premise is that if you can get a better grasp on understanding your personal family of origin, and then going out a little further, their families and their families beyond, then, because if you can do all of that, and even just to blank on the page, just write it out. What is the birth order that you have? Who are your parents? Who were their siblings? Who were their parents? Who were their siblings? When were they born? When did they die? Were there divorces? Were there separations? Were there miscarriages? Were there bankruptcies? Were there medical history situations? All of these, if you can, just at initial, just write it all out, it kind of helps you to kind of see a roadmap. And it's a kind of a roadmap of the past, but also, in a way, the present, because we humans, we tend to repeat patterns all the time. We just do it, whether we consciously do it or not. It's always there. It's always somewhere in your brain, in your subconscious. Things just keep getting repeated. So the premise is if you can get a grasp on that, and even just kind of glancing at it periodically, you start to see different things that might come up that impact how you interact with people now. Because you learn things in your family of origin about things like, how do you handle conflict? How do you handle direct communication? Do you do it indirectly or directly? Who can you notice patterns about? If there was a family reunion, all of the various people in your life showed up in one space, and somebody brings up some topic, just kind of like thinking about a mobile that hangs. One person brings up whatever topic, any kind of topic. You can, because you know these people, you can predict what the next person is going to say, right? And then how this person is going to react. And they may shut down or they may blow up, but you've learned how these systems, and so if you can find a way to step back and observe, kind of like you're observing, this is just, think of it like a sociological experience or observation. Look at how this family behaves. That's curious. But the next step is being able to step back and look at your own self. Wow, when this person says this, My reaction is to do XYZ. Maybe that's not the way I actually want to behave. If I want to do, what was that line? Become a better person, becoming better people. I don't know. Is that really, it makes you, that line makes you pretty darn responsible, doesn't it? Like, I don't know if I really want to keep working on that, but we keep trying because you have to keep noticing, this is my resistance. I see you, resistance. I see you there. And I'm going to keep showing up in whatever way, even if it's just a text conversation with somebody, just something, because the belief is if you can try to have some kind of connection, even if it's just a little bit, then you can start to notice, oh, wait, my pattern around conflict is to run and hide. My pattern around conflict is to shut down. My pattern around conflict is to yell. But you have to know what that is. Like, oh, wait a minute, I've done it again. Hold on. This is my opportunity to create a different pattern, right? Today, I can create a different pattern. I don't know what that pattern's going to be yet, but I can use today, this experience, this, for some of you, you may be going out to lunch with a family today who may be just the people who know how to push your buttons. You could use this opportunity to say, today, I'm going to practice having a different response. This is an experiment. This is just a laboratory experience. I don't have to tell them I'm practicing, but you can just tell yourself, today, I'm practicing not reacting when this person does this. I wonder if I could have a different response in the moment. Just give yourself the opportunity. Today could be that day, or it might not, but give yourself the opportunity to do that. So I wanted to say that this family systems, if you can, I think of it as both getting better and closer, but also a little distance where it's not personal. You know, like, I see that this is what happens, and this person reacts this way because they also had a parent who was like this thing. It kind of removes some of that tension. It doesn't make them not responsible for what they did. I'll say that. I'm not ever going to say people aren't responsible for their own actions, and they also had various stresses. So, for example, in one of my sessions with my mentor, and I was saying something about my father, and then he just said, and this was a couple of sessions in, and he's like, that's typical for second sons in a family. I'm like, what? And so I did not know. And so that got me thinking more on like with birth order. So you might be, I'm saying this sarcastically, surprised that I am the oldest daughter in my family. And so I have a twin brother who's 5 minutes older than me. So I am the oldest daughter, and then we have a sister who is 4 years younger than the two of us, and I have a brother who is 7 years younger than me. So the thing with being an oldest daughter, as some of you probably know, if you're the oldest daughter especially, you have expectations on you. You are going to be responsible. You are going to do these things. And then, but you don't even realize because, you can't come into the world a blank slate not knowing who you would have been if you hadn't been the first daughter. You can't undo that training because that's the world you grew up in. Those are the expectations that were put on you. And different expectations are put on the second and third and last child. We know that. So, as an adult, being able to go, okay, when I'm reacting to somebody who I feel like is not being responsible, then I'm like, wait a minute. My oldest child self is frustrated with this person who is not following up on the thing that they're supposed to be doing. And I am getting frustrated with them, but am I allowing them to be who they are? Am I noticing my need to rush in and fix that? Or can I just let them be who they are? Because really, is it a crisis if this thing doesn't happen? I have to step back and go, I am not this person's older sister. I'm not their sister. So, and even my younger sister, one of my growth experiences was having to step back and remind myself, she is an adult. I don't have to fix what she's got going. That it's really hard, isn't it? We can't fix our siblings, we can't fix our parents, but we can start becoming more self-aware of ourselves. What are we doing, and how are we contributing to the ongoing system and patterns? Because we keep doing it over and over again. We keep doing it. How can we step back and notice this is what I'm doing? Being both self-differentiated is just a big fancy words for being self-defined. Like, I know who I am. It's sort of like you're the vegetarian at some potluck. Like, nope, I am the vegetarian. I'm going to do this, and they're going to do that, but it doesn't make me or them bad. We're just different people. We've made different expectations. So the same thing in family systems. Who am I separate from these people? And so that is one of the ways of growth that helps us to continue to be better people. And having this awareness can also help, I believe, heal some old stories. So I thought I would share just a little bit of a couple of old stories from my childhood that the past few years, not just this current one, but the past have helped me to have a better understanding of, because I really think both time and sometimes geographic distance helps us to kind of see things through a wider angle lens that can help you heal, perhaps. So here's a couple of stories. So in my childhood, my mother, she grew up Methodist. And the Methodist world that she grew up in, then they sang the hymns. Many of them were psalms from the Bible. If you're unaware, that there's a book that's called the Psalms that are many poems. And many denominations put those psalms to music. And so as a teenager, then we started off going to a Baptist church. My mom stopped going to church. There's lots of drama and stories in there, but as a teenager, she would wander around the house while she was doing things, and she'd be singing these songs that she grew up with. And so then, because when you're exposed to things, it's sort of like I grew up exposed to the music of her childhood. I also grew up listening to her singing these psalms written that she sang just from heart. She just knew these songs. And so then as a teenager, I was going through my whole I am not like you phase. And it was like, nope, I don't like any of this. And then as a young adult, when I came out as a lesbian, then I would hear these songs that were now implanted in my head. And I'm like, oh no, these songs, they're there. And like, how am I going to get rid of them? And they're just there because you hear them. The things you hear as a child, they just keep getting repeated. And then later on in life, in my 40s, when I went to seminary in the Interfaith Seminary in New York City, then one of the things that I did was go to Shabbat services at a local synagogue. And I'll never forget the first one I went to, that they were singing psalms. And I did not know that was a thing. And because I had never been exposed to Judaism before, I did not know. And so here I am at a Shabbat service, and here are people singing. I mean, I'm hearing the words. Obviously, they're to a different hymn entirely, but I'm hearing the words, and I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. And they are singing the Psalms. And it became actually a healing moment for me of reclaiming I can also have access to this music now as an adult. They don't necessarily have the same meaning for me, but I can understand the through line in religion of how these songs, these words, this music have been healing for so many people. That helped me have a better understanding and appreciation for my mother, that she needed those songs of her childhood, and she repeated them out loud. And then another story. So my mother and I wouldn't call us estranged. I would say that we text every couple of weeks. That's about as much as we do. My father, I'm completely estranged from. I have not seen him. Well, it's complicated. Since I was a freshman in college, I went to see him, and that was it. I have never seen him since. He was abusive to my twin brother and sister. There were lots and lots of more stories in there. And so for most of my life, I really felt like I got nothing from him. But then I started to realize that there was something. I'm thinking of it as like extracting the gold. Like there is still something in there, even if it wasn't like stated out loud. So here's a little bit of gold from my father. A weird part of our family story is that my extended family, they live in Oklahoma. And so somehow my father was saved when I was like about 2 or 3 by somebody because he was a rodeo clown. Somebody in the rodeo world told him about Jesus. And I don't know how you live in Oklahoma and not know about Jesus, but somehow he learned about Jesus when I was like 2 or 3 from this person in the rodeo. And so he decided not only was he a Christian, but now he wanted to go to seminary in the seminary in northern Indiana. So my family had never lived in a cold state. So, but he was determined. So my parents, myself and my twin brother, we were probably 2 or 3 at the time, moved up there to northern Indiana so that my father could attend this specific seminary for this particular college. I have no idea who this person was who changed the trajectory of our world because they told him about Jesus and this particular church with this seminary. So we all moved up north. Turns out, though, reading and writing are very, very important skills if you're going to seminary. My father was barely literate. He had a learning disability, and his high school teachers just passed him on through. It was in the days, I hope this doesn't happen now, but in that days, he was allowed to graduate without really understanding reading and writing, very little comprehension. So that didn't work out so well for him in seminary. I think he made it 1 semester because you have to be pretty darn good at being able to read and write in these classes. No matter what your denomination is, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to do that. So my father dropped out, but we stayed up north in Indiana, going to this particular independent Baptist church. And myself and my twin brother, then my sister, we all went to this church's elementary school, and we were seriously, this was it. This was our world for a long time, until my parents divorced when I was 10. So then life became chaotic in different ways. So that church was very restrictive, particularly about gender and sexuality. And I'll say that church, my mother still won't go to church now because of the way that church treated her after my parents' divorce. So I believe that religious trauma is a very, very serious thing. And I will say that I am actually grateful for what I learned from my father and from him at the time. Because it was only as an adult when I began considering ministry for myself, it was like sometimes when you go back to a place you've been to, when you've traveled, and then you go back and you're like, haven't we been here before? Isn't this the space? Isn't this where this goes? Even just this vague recollection, wait a minute, I think we've been here. And I had this vague recollection of my father's story. Wait a minute, we've been here, but now it's my story. And this is the story that I'm going to claim for myself. He didn't do ministry, but I am. And I'm going to do it from my perspective of religion as being one that is open and welcoming to all people. I can thank him for how my life began in the religion that he knew then, probably still does now for all I know. But I can see religion from a much broader perspective now. And I'm grateful for the seeds that he planted, even if it's not where I ended up. I appreciate that he taught us to read the Bible and study the scriptures and understand the verses. I appreciate all of the stories that we learned and how they helped me to learn and understand the world from a different angle. I can appreciate that and also not be in a relationship with him, and that is okay. I think that is one of our tasks as adults, is to be aware of who am I going to be in a relationship with, how am I going to take care of myself while I do that, and who am I not going to be in relationship with no matter what our relationship was. And I'm okay with that because we all are responsible for making these decisions for ourselves and being able to know, okay, I'm getting triggered by this thing that somebody else is doing that is very much like my father, but this person is not my father. It takes a lot of self-awareness and growth to be able to step back and go, okay, I recognize this behavior, but it's a different person, and I'm actually not in danger. Being an adult is hard work, I tell you. Whew. Sometimes I'm like, I do not recommend it, but it helps us actually be better people. So I do recommend studying Murray Bowen's Family Systems if you can. Whatever, if there's many books, I'll put in the Facebook chat. I'll make a post about some books that I can recommend, and the podcast that I mentioned earlier, because I think that it helps us. In fact, one of the books is How to Grow Yourself Up. So because we are responsible for ourselves, we are responsible for how we interact in the world. And I think it's one of the responsibilities of being a Unitarian Universalist. I am responsible for how I behave in the world. I'm responsible for how we interact and share. And if we truly believe that we're about community, then we're responsible to each other in whatever form the community takes. I hope that whatever Mother's Day is for you, whatever a Parents' Day is, whether it's Mother's Day, Father's Day, or non-binary Parents' Day, I hope you find a blessing in it somewhere. Whatever that is, I hope you can bless your parents, your grandparents, your children, nieces, nephews, whoever they may be in your life, that we all support and care and build a world of network and care, responsible for each other while we learn and grow. Amen. Let us join together in singing our closing song, which is attached to your order of service, which is called Pass on the Light. You're welcome to stand and body your spirit. Thank you all. Please join me in our, I think we've lost the projector. You could turn the projector back on. Okay. If you could join me in our extinguishing words. We extinguish this chalice with an open heart. We are building a better world together. We are becoming better people together. We are living our lives together. We don't have to do it alone.